Hi, this is Daniel again, coming to you with another or like a new field report. And it started when me and my wing did Daygame in here around the corner in Berlin. And we couldn't bring us to like approach any woman, but we talked a lot, and this is like also a good thing, like walking around with your wing and just talking about your problems, then that and eventually like results in like actually talking to women. And like before it was over, like I had the deep desire that I definitely need to like speak to a woman. And then there were like this amazing creature walking by, and she went like into some dead end where I knew that she has to come out again. She apparently was not familiar with the area, and I am, because I grew up here. So I like my wing made a little bit fun of me because like I didn't approach a woman yet, and so I thought like, well, fuck it, I just gonna chase her, I just gonna like, walk after her. And then when I realized that she walks into that dead end, I waited like in the beginning, like in the entrance of the dead end, for her to come out again. And it was perfect because exactly that happens. And the moment she passed by, I stopped her and asked her like whether I can help you, whether like there's like any, maybe she's lost or like, and so yeah, well, she were Canadian, and apparently she really was lost. So I gave her like the information necessary, like to find her way back home, and ask her like how like the regular question they always say, like who are you here with, and where are you staying, and what are you doing later? And it turned out that she's a single traveler from Canada, traveling Europe, stays in a hostel place, so that is logistics wise not so good, but I have my own apartment, so no problem. And she didn't do anything later. So and I asked her like, so how is it like being a single traveler? Like you're probably getting hit like on from men like constantly. And she was like, no, nothing happened. Not a single man yet approached me. So then I already grabbed her, and so let me be the first. And asked her for her number, like, and told her that there's like a party later going on, and that we shall just go and like have fun. And I had no idea like about some party. I more like party in my pants. That's what I thought. But well, anyway, I had her number, and when I came home, I followed that. I immediately wrote her like. Checked out whether there's like some party, and I couldn't like find anything. So, but I just went for it. I just wrote her, yeah, well, there's that party, so let's go there like at 11 or so. And if she would have answered yes, then I thought like, well, then I can like find some party anywhere, because we're in Berlin and there's like partying non-stop basically going on. So, but she wrote me that she feels like tired, and so nothing happened. So I didn't have to go to the party. I didn't want to anyway. So I did my other stuff. So and the next day again, I asked her whether she wants to go to the party. This time there actually were a party, and I actually intended to go, but I was also not like so very eager to go there. And in the end, I didn't go there because she flaked on me, how you would say that. And and I'm so sad. Actually, she intended to come, and we already had like the appointment, like the time when we meet. And then she wrote me, I got a terrible message from home, and now I feel not good. So I thought like, well, whether that's true or not, she's not gonna come. So fuck it. I tried, like I texted her like back and forth, and I think I almost had her so far, and well, then I kind of lost her again. Anyway, next day I still were persistent, and I thought like, well, if she's like not up to party, like for some reason, maybe there's like really like bad news, then I just gonna ask her out for a late dinner or something, like a supper or what they call it in Britain. I don't know what's it in English, in American English, and she agreed to that. So she was again like a little bit hesitant and like, let me whether it's like really gonna happen and maybe I will be late. So but eventually like we actually met. I walked to her hostel and picked her up, and yeah, well, and then the dating phase began. It was well, in my mind, it's like always what you have in your mind and then what actually happens. In my mind, it was like I see her and I'm gonna do the hand of the god, like bringing like already like emotion in like from the beginning, because I know it works very well. But I like the moment I stepped into the door of the hostel, like it was the same moment when she came out and we were like almost like falling like on top of each other. So there were like this momentum like. It were just not possible to do it anymore. It would have been like odd, like to walk like a couple of steps back and like put the hand there. So it would be shit. So yeah, well then I decided like to go, or we decided to go, and we walked. And like this is the second time that I walked with a woman. And like from the beginning, she were like in a running mood. Like the other one where I ended up in bed with her, she were like also the same, like also running. And like the first one I confronted, like, as I now confronted her, like why is she why are you so running? And then she responded, yeah, well, I have long legs. Yeah, well, you have long legs, but you still can. You're a tourist here, so even supposed to like have your hands on your back and walk like this and like, oh, the one with the city. It was a little bit funny, but still she kept like running. I remember that like in case like you walk with a girl, like you're supposed to like kind of lead, like being like always like a couple of centimeters like ahead, but really like she like really like, even though she didn't know like where to go because she didn't know where the restaurant was, she were always like really like running almost. This is like annoying, and I definitely have to figure out something. I have to think about it, whether this is like something that's I just gonna take for as it is, or whether there's like some technique to make her walk like not so fast. Yeah, I don't like, I cannot concentrate like on being nice and being meant to woman if she's like constantly running. So we walked and we talked and about her life, and then she every once in a while she started to bring up her boyfriend, which she like in her previous WhatsApp thing like wrote like boyfriend, and but in front of boyfriend were like in bracket ex, so ex-boyfriend. So I thought like, well, not a boyfriend, so even better for me. But it turned out that apparently like she's somehow still together with him and like couldn't bear it anymore, like to being together with him like in Canada. So she went on like traveling Europe for like a month or so. And yeah, but I definitely the advice like not going into this boyfriend topic like I really took seriously. I really like tried to avoid it and try like to bring like good mood to her, like concentrating like on her emotions and like try to make actions to make her feel good. So like I don't know, like on the street when she like were like telling me that she used to be like a ballet dancer. I just grabbed her on the arm and like swiveled her around. I mean, like this, and again, like I did like with the first with the last girl too. First girl, like I approached in the with the idea of pickup, and And again, what happens? Of course, she were like smiling and like enjoying herself, and she really liked it. So we went up like in this restaurant because I didn't eat anything this day. I went to the gym short before I went to her, so I really were hungry. So we ordered something and like and still talked, and then there were like 2 times there were like a couple of seconds where she were like saying something, but it was like so emotionally, and I was like constantly like looking her in the eye, like, and try to be like man to woman and like demonstrating male-ish dominance. And there were like these 2 moments for a couple of seconds where I thought like, maybe should I kiss her now? Or shouldn't I? Like, is it? And you always hear like whenever you think that it might be the moment, like you are like already like a couple of seconds behind, so you should come. But the moment like I realized, I asked my question, then it was over again. Like she turned and like her mood changed again. So, damn it, I thought. And so she wanted to go for a cigarette. So I thought like perfect opportunity to change venue. So I thought like, oh well, then let's go. Intended I actually to take her like to another bar or so, but this turned out that she intended to go back to her hostel, and or at least she told me that she cannot stay much longer anymore. So because her flight left like early in the morning and she still had to pack and wanted to have a proper sleep, which was like not in my favor. And she constantly again bring up like her ex-boyfriend, which I thought like, oh well, that it's like really like everything's like not so much in my favor, but still I tried. Then there were like a moment where I when we continued to walk like to the city, like doing window shopping and like enjoying ourselves like by walking and talking. Where like for a couple of minutes I gave up like inside of me. I thought like, well, she leaves and she leaves anyway, and she's like she expressed like 2 times now that she actually like wanted to end like in a couple of minutes. And then I thought like maybe I could take that and like ask her like about so okay, it's over, like nothing happens, but do you think like in another moment or so something like could have happened between us, and like to make like my own study about that, like my own survey. But I didn't do it because I wasn't sure that it's like really over, and I knew like if I would do that, then it definitely would be over. So on her way home, we passed like a very like old building complex like in Berlin, which is really nice, and there's like currently like a Christmas market inside. So I draw her to it. I thought like it's just let's go there. It's so beautiful. You have to see it. Like, and it's like more or less on your way to your way home. So anyway, so we went in there and like had to look like on this and that market stall, and this was like were like really nice, and like I really tried to be like again funny and also like a little bit cocky. And when we went out, then. Yeah, well, and then we continued more or less in her direction, but it was like already like not such a bright street, and so I told her, well, this is like the direction, but be careful, there are going to be like dark. There's going to be a dark street ahead because like already we're like in the evening, and it's winter now, and so it was basically night. Like trying to make like this more like in a sexual direction, which by the way I did earlier before when we went into the restaurant. We had like we already talked about sex, and somehow she came up with it, not I. I mean, I might have made like some mild suggestions like in the direction, but in the end she told like a lot about sex, and I remember when this when they say I heard this a couple of times. Whenever a woman like is willing to talk with you like about sex, then at least she considers having sex with you. So and this was when I like when I realized that there still I have a chance. But like in the restaurant, like short after that, she told me that she wanted to go home. So anyway, we walked around the corner, and then we actually were like in this street that were like dark, and like the lights on the streets were like, I think one were broken, and like there aren't so many anywhere, and there are so big trees that covering the light a little bit with their leaves. So and I came back on that. Now we're like in the street, and so and I was like, how about if I kiss you now? And she walked. She looked at me, and then I grabbed her like by the hip, like moved her around and tried to kiss her, and like when I was like this short with my mouth away from her, she stopped me and said like, no, I can't, and like really like she almost started to cry, and I think if I would have forced her like a little bit more, she actually would have cried. And so this was a moment where I realized like she's like emotionally like currently like really disturbed with her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend kind of thing. So and then I knew this was gone, that this is over. I thought I think now that if I knew like how to deal with this social situation better, so I probably I could have done much more like in like on the date to like bring her like in a way better mood, like and really like make her forget about her problems. Still she's like, I mean, she's like 8,000 kilometers from home, so and still like it chases her. So well, I'm not as good now. I really hope that I'm going to in the future. So, but then I knew that it's like over, but I told her immediately that I couldn't have forgive myself if I wouldn't have at least tried, and she were like really like, yeah, that's good, and like, so she assured me that actually I basically did everything fine, and yeah, wonderful. Then I just walked her back to her hostel, and we said goodbye. And I still have her number, and I told her if I once come to Canada, I definitely want to call her up, and told her that either she's hopefully like not having her crappy boyfriend anymore, or at least introduce me to one of her beautiful women friends. So we laughed and we liked it, and the day was over. Like this time, like not with 100% success, but still, I think it's a success story. It's my second date that I actually went on, like a proper date, and yeah, well, still it was good. So another field report, like on how it works with a woman, and well, let's hope that it's going to continue like this, and that I will still be able to learn a lot from that. So see you next time.